The setup that requires one more confirmation and one more check isn't unclear. You're just using analysis to delay the moment you have to commit. Analysis paralysis isn't about needing more information. It's about avoiding the discomfort of risk. Because as long as you're analyzing, you don't have to decide. And as long as you don't decide, you can't be wrong. That's the trap. It feels like thoroughness, but it's procrastination. The perfect setup doesn't exist. There will always be something that's not quite ideal. The trend could be cleaner. The volume could be higher. The risk-reward could be better. And if you keep looking for reasons the setup isn't perfect, you'll always find them. Not because the setup is flawed, because perfection is impossible. And waiting for perfection is just a way to avoid taking risk. You're not protecting yourself. You're protecting yourself from having to find out if you're right. More information doesn't reduce your discomfort with risk. It just gives you more things to think about. You check another time frame. You wait for another candle. You look for confirmation from volume or momentum or whatever indicator you think will give you certainty. But certainty doesn't come from analysis. It comes from accepting that you can't know what will happen next. And until you accept that, no amount of information will feel like enough. You'll just keep analyzing until the setup is gone. Your plan already did the analysis. That's the point of having a plan. You decided in advance what conditions need to be met. You built in your filters. You defined your edge. And when those conditions appear, your job isn't to reanalyze them, it's to execute. But analysis paralysis makes you forget that. It makes you think that every setup needs to be evaluated fresh, that your plan is just a starting point, and the real decision happens in the moment. But the real decision already happened when you built the plan. The moment is just for execution. Overthinking feels like diligence, like you're being careful, like you're waiting for the right moment. But there's a difference between patience and avoidance. Patience is waiting for your edge and executing when it appears. Avoidance is seeing your edge and finding reasons not to act. Analysis paralysis is avoidance dressed as thoroughness. You're not being cautious. You're being scared. And instead of admitting you're scared, you're telling yourself you need more data. Here's what makes analysis paralysis insidious. It's socially acceptable. No one criticizes you for doing more research. It looks responsible. But discipline isn't about how much you analyze. It's about how well you execute. And if you're analyzing when you should be executing, that's hesitation. And hesitation costs you the trades that would have built your edge. The shift is recognizing when analysis becomes avoidance. If you've checked your plan and the conditions are met, more analysis isn't helping you. It's delaying you. And that delay isn't about the market. It's about you not wanting to commit. The question to ask isn't, is this setup perfect? It's, does this match my plan? If it does, you take it. If it doesn't, you don't. There's no middle ground where more thinking makes the answer clearer. The answer is already clear. You're just uncomfortable with it. Analysis paralysis also creates a pattern. Every time you overthink a setup and don't take it, you teach your brain that hesitation is acceptable, that you can override your plan if you don't feel certain enough. And certainty becomes the new standard. Not plan adherence, not execution. Certainty. And certainty is impossible. So you end up taking fewer and fewer trades. Not because your plan isn't triggering, because your brain has learned that triggering isn't enough. You need to feel ready, and you never feel ready when risk is involved. The fix isn't about thinking faster. It's about trusting the thinking you already did. Your plan is the result of calm, rational analysis. It's what you decided when you weren't under pressure. And when you're in the moment, staring at the setup, feeling uncertain, that's not the time to second-guess it. That's the time to execute it. Because the plan was built for this moment, for the moment when you don't feel certain. And if you can't execute it then, the plan is useless. Overthinking doesn't protect you from bad trades. It protects you from uncomfortable feelings. And uncomfortable feelings are part of trading. You can't analyze your way out of them. You can only accept them and act anyway. Because the traders who succeed aren't the ones who feel certain. They're the ones who act without needing to. They see their edge, they take it, and they move on. No drama, no endless confirmation seeking, just execution. And execution is what builds accounts, not analysis.